is in the energy sector. Kyiv's contradictory decisions, they alternate between negotiation and striking our facilities. Could you tell us how things stand with the moratorium right now? Is it being observed, and to what extent? And does it remain in effect, including for us? At the very beginning of today's Security Council meeting, before moving on to the main issue of combating terrorist threats, the President, I would like to ask Defense Minister Andrei Belousov, and for me to talk about how our relations with the Americans are developing regarding the Ukrainian dossier. Andrei Ivanovich Belousov spoke precisely about how the moratorium agreed upon. At President Trump's proposal on March 18th, during a phone conversation between our presidents of Russia and the USA, is being observed. Belousov stated that the moratorium is not being observed and the energy facilities of the Russian Federation are under attack. All this time, perhaps with a break of 1 or 2 days, he listed all the targets that were attacked by Ukrainian drones over the past period, including last night. And I continued. In the same vein, the Russian army is observing the moratorium, which the president ordered to be strictly observed during the phone conversation with Trump. March 18th. You even remember. He said that at that moment, 7 drones were flying to attack targets in Ukraine, and they were destroyed by our air defense systems and an aircraft that was on duty in the sky at that time. And since then, we have adhered to this agreement with President Trump, 100%. The list of violations that Andrei Belousov presented at the Security Council meeting, we handed over. I sent this list to the U.S. National Security Advisor, Mark Waltz, and to the U.S. Secretary of State, Mark Rubio. And we sent it to our representatives at the UN and OCE, so they could demonstrate with concrete facts what the word of the current Ukrainian authorities is worth, if we can even call it authority. Besides this topic, the President asked to talk about other areas of work with the Americans, including what was discussed on March 24th in Riyadh, when experts met. Russia and the USA on issues of revitalization, renewal, and revival of the so-called Black Sea Initiative, the Grain Initiative. And then, during the negotiations in Riyadh, we highly appreciated, and the President supported this assessment, the readiness of the USA to facilitate the removal of obstacles which were created by illegal unilateral sanctions on the path of exporting Russian grain products and Russian fertilizers, thereby creating tension in the global markets, primarily creating difficulties for developing countries as access to the necessary food, goods, and fertilizers was restricted. We supported, as I already mentioned, that. The readiness of the United States, which was documented on paper after the meeting on March 24th, but added specific proposals on how this can be implemented in practice. Such proposals are absolutely necessary to avoid repeating the unfortunate initial experience. The Black Sea Grain Initiative, which Secretary General Guterres proposed, was approved in July 2022. Part of the package is dedicated to facilitating the export of Ukrainian grain, and the second part to the export of our grain and fertilizers. The Ukrainian part was operational, and all this time we have been fulfilling our obligations. Regarding Russian interests, which were established as obligations of our partners within that initiative, nothing has been done. Therefore, now we need not empty promises, but tangible and concrete actions regarding access to ports, normal freight rates, insurance and assurances, and so on. Our American colleagues are currently studying our proposals and promise to do so in the near future to respond. And the third topic we are working on with the Americans, with The approval of the presidents, this is the elimination of the so-called irritants that seriously hinder the work of our embassy in Washington and the American embassy in Moscow. It is clear that we did not start creating these obstacles. The Obama administration actively distinguished itself in this field, but we only responded according to the laws of reciprocity, which no one has cancelled in diplomacy. There was a meeting in Istanbul, and now a second meeting is being prepared. In the meantime, there are contacts via phone and video conferencing. I don't want to make predictions, but we see emerging progress and the desire of American partners to remove these completely unacceptable, from the point of view of diplomatic practice, obstacles to the normal work of diplomats in each other's capitals. Thank you.